immediate concern is the fact that Stop Killing Games got to the goal. We got to the 1.4 million signature goal. So if you go to sign the petition, it actually went over 7,000 signatures there. Keep signing until July 31. We still got time. And the more signatures, the better, because we don't know how many of these signatures are valid. We don't know how many signatures were spoofed. We don't know how many people put their details incorrectly. And you never know what people do, which should, in principle, be enough to cover for invalid signatures, but we'll see. And there's news. So apparently the CEOs and the video game industry, and by industry I mean the big players, but they're not happy about this. The sphincters are contracting. It just goes to show how effective this can actually be. Ross put out a video called "The Industry Filed a False Claim Against Stop Killing Games Initiative." Let's see what Ross has to say about it.
Hey, you know that saying, it's not paranoia if they really are out to get you? I have behind-the-scenes news on the Stop Killing Games campaign.
Yeah, I'm not going through all of this because we talked extensively about it. The gist of it being that we want to end unfair licenses for video games, basically, and we want to prevent video game companies from just destroying the games once they're done with them, once they deem that the game is being sunset.
However, I am actually not the founder of the European Citizens Initiative. That would be a group of volunteers whom I'm in touch with. I'm ineligible to have an official role in the initiative. I'm just a major promoter of it. It's always been something separate. That's part of why it's called the Stop Destroying Video Games Initiative instead of the Stop Killing Games movement. So with that in mind...
Because you can't, if you're not a citizen, you cannot start a citizen initiative, right? Which makes sense. So we got a group of volunteers to start the movement.
It was recently shared with me that the Stop Destroying Video Games Initiative has received a serious accusation from an anonymous source. The EU Commission relayed a complaint of it committing 2 violations.
Oh, wow.
Yikes! A false no-funding declaration.
Current violation, false no funding declaration. The official ECI registered Citizens Initiative Europa currently displays no content available under sources of funding, indicating the organizers have declared 0 funding sources, which is true. I believe that some people got money for us, but not necessarily to fund the initiative, right? Just as a, as a thank you for all the work is put in, but is not involved in this specific initiative. So it wouldn't be, you can't make that connection. Systematic concealment of major contributions. This declaration appears fundamentally incorrect based on publicly documented evidence of substantial, undisclosed professional contributions to the campaign.
Well, this is all news to me, but I don't know everything that's going on with the initiative. Oh, it's about me! I'm the evidence, everyone!
What?
A quote, there have been many weeks on the campaign where I've been working 12 to 14 hours a day to keep things moving to get signatures. Damn straight I have, that is true. It's unclear to me if the accuser thinks I've literally been running a rickshaw service.
Like a tuk-tuk. Ross is just running around the in a tuk-tuk in the EU territory getting people to vote. That's ridiculous, right?
And you know what? I'm not gonna tell them. They can guess that for themselves. They're doing a lot of guessing in this. You'll see. Media interviews identifying me as handling the standard day-to-day work of running the Stop Killing Games initiative and described as the primary strategic decision maker and public spokesperson throughout the campaign. Okay, this is reaching. The decision on literally everything about the initiative is theirs. If I don't like something but they do, then I just have to deal with it. But get ready, because here comes the clown accounting. 15 to 20 weeks of 12 to 14-hour days. That's interesting that they call this a conservative estimate, because they're making these numbers up.
Holy shit.
They may as well be reading tea leaves. It's true I think I've spent that many hours a day working on this campaign. For some weeks. But 15 to 20? That would have killed me.
It's just... oh my god. Do you think this was the same guys that opposed, like the same lobby group that opposed the initiative that's now coming out and going like, oh yeah, this guy, we must get him on some technicality?
This high. Others, it was anywhere from 0 to 4 hours a day. I don't know. You know why I don't know? Because I never track my hours. Why would I? Nobody was hiring me for this. It's all volunteer time. But I am impressed that they think they know my hours better than I do. Oh, but here's the good part. Professional rate, 50 to 75 euros an hour.
Professional rate is like, yeah, pay me that.
Something if I was a professional who had a rate for anything. Minimum estimated value, 63 to 147,000 euros. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, this one annoys me a bit because their low end, 63,000 euros, is more money I've made in any year in my entire life. Though, hey, I'm sure all kinds of people are worth more if they make up numbers about how much they should be getting paid from imaginary sources. But they're saying my volunteer work is worth that much, so by not reporting it, it's violating Article 17, yada yada. Their supporting evidence is media treating me as though I'm the leader, and me saying I've worked a lot on this.
They're basically trying to get them to get the initiative on a technicality, saying that this guy is being a paid professional to work on the campaign, and they didn't disclose that, which is not true. And their proof that this is the case is that it's too unreasonable to work this much on something without getting paid. That's their reasoning, which is insanity.
And it sounds like I should have logged my hours and made up hourly rates like my accuser did, huh?
Maybe.
But wait, here's a thought. Why don't we check what the European Union's rules actually are? Who is considered a sponsor?
Sponsors are people or organizations providing financial support over 500 euros. Legal persons are providing other economically quantifiable in-kind donations or non-economically quantifiable support to initiative are also considered sponsors. Non-economically quantifiable support to initiative.
Okay, well I've spent 0 euros on the initiative, just a crap load
but
of time.
But it's legal,
so
legal
that's
people,
not me.
Which is
legal
not.
persons or organizations providing other economically quantifiable in-kind donations or non-economically quantifiable support to an initiative.
Yeah, but how do you quantify? Where do you get the number from? If he's not getting paid, if he's not a professional, where do you get that number?
Well, I've been advised I'm not a legal person. I'm a natural person. And I certainly wasn't representing an official organization. I mean, I haven't signed one form with Stop Killing Games on it, or for the initiative for that matter. Individuals providing non-financial support, such as volunteering, are not considered sponsors under the ECI regulation.
Oh, there we go.
And do not need to be reported. Oh,
there we go. Case solved. But I guess they're reaching by trying to go like, oh, see, this is too unreasonable to be considered volunteer work. Therefore, it must be getting paid. What? What the fuck are they talking about?
What's that? That description, which is exactly what I've been doing? So the EU says the initiative has been following the rules this entire time?
Go figure.
What about this anonymous accuser saying the EU doesn't know its own rules? Is there a hidden clause here? Like you're not a sponsor unless you work really hard? So let's get this straight. We've got an anonymous complaint saying the initiative is violating EU law. I'm apparently in charge of the initiative despite being ineligible to even join it, hence why my name is not on here. The accuser is making up how many hours I've worked on this,
and the salary,
are making up imaginary money amounts I've supposedly donated in kind, and their claims directly contradict the EU's own laws on this. And hey, plot twist, there's something I didn't tell you. The official organizers literally asked EU representatives if it was okay for me to assist them in the capacity I have been back in spring of 2024. Just to make sure everything was above board in case there was a problem or we needed to...
So they pulled all the stops, it seems. They pulled all the stops to make sure that they were following the rules. Because I can imagine certain citizens' initiatives, you can't just go into the EU and start making initiatives, recruiting some local people and then not disclosing who's behind it, right? If there's major contributions behind it, which is not the case at all. It's just that he's not even eligible, but is volunteering and helping them. But they also asked the commission if it was okay for him to continue helping them in the same capacity, which I'm guessing they said yes.
They said what I've been doing is fine. We've been doing this by the book, guys. So where did this complaint come from? Well, we'll never know. It's anonymous.
Oh, no.
But let me ask you, does anyone think this is just some concerned citizen acting
No.
independently here?
No
I mean,
fucking
pretend
way.
all of these accusations were true.
Ain't
Would that
no
end
way.
the initiative?
Yeah.
I'll just say the timing of this is awfully hot on the heels of an industry lobby group giving some very bad statements about the movement. In some cases, I think outright lying about it. But I don't know if it was them. Maybe it was a different lobbying group.
Or just a mystery. Oh,
Maybe it was
God.
just some political hatchet man hired by the industry. But someone was trying to kill the initiative. Filing paperwork to the European Union accusing the initiative and myself of violating the rules, maybe even committing a crime, I'm not sure.
I'll solve the mystery. Looks at phone for 2 minutes. Wait a minute. Oh, no. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in a bit.
Hell, I think a lot of end-of-life plans for games will be less than those imaginary euros I'm not being paid.
Yeah,
But I don't know
probably.
what's coming next, and it could get a lot worse than this. Who knows? I am so out of my league on this. I have never been a political target before, so this is all uncharted territory for me.
And smearing campaigns are low cost. You guys might... they're really low cost in the grand scheme of things in comparison to other things. Smearing campaigns are much cheaper than marketing campaigns. It's much easier to destroy someone's image than it is to convince people of something.
Have been
I understand his
bumbling
worries.
So far. I mean, I just showed you how these claims are false because they're lying about how the law defines my actions. Video Games Europe was almost certainly lying about this claim, and it was irrelevant. Almost certainly lying about their liability here.
Yeah.
They were either so obtuse they couldn't understand what we're asking for when it's spelled.
They were doing... We went through this, right? But these guys were doing the exact same thing that Pirate Software was doing. Mischaracterizing the initiative in exactly the same way Pirate Software was doing.
Or they're lying about not understanding it. Take your pick. Oh, and this claim. This one is a bit clever because it can't be disproven. You could say this about...
These proposals would curtail development choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. Would leave right holders liable. Oh my god.
Like, I could say it's prohibitively expensive for me to make a paper airplane. And you might say, what are you talking about? A piece of paper costs what? 2 cents? And I could say...
Oh, but the intangibles! The intangibles! Think about the intangible value that needs to be put into creating a paper plane.
Yeah, but that would curtail my choice.
Yes.
Because I want to make my paper airplane out of the Magna Carta. And that...
That's a good... Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Magna Carta and human skin for the...
Plus, it's prohibitively expensive for me to make a paper airplane.
Jesus.
I guarantee you that's the kind of logic they're using here if you were to really dig into the details. Oh, and let's let everyone know this lobby group isn't even representing its members that well. BeamNG says they weren't consulted by Video Games Europe and disagree with their statement and behavior. Even Epic Games. Yeah, that small company. You probably haven't heard.
Epic Games hasn't lobbied our opinion on the law. I guess our logo is on the picture above because we're a member of various trade organizations and some of them have lobbied our opinion against the proposal. Oh my god, they're trying to say they're not. Yeah, but you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't just say, oh, our logo is there because we associate with many people. What you have to do in that case is we're no longer a member of that organization because they misrepresented us. If you associate with an organization that lobbies, then you're in the boat. I'm sorry. If the boat goes down, you go down with it. You don't get to say, oh, I don't even know. We signed so many agreements. I couldn't tell you.
Has come out saying that they're currently non-committal on this. So Video Games Europe wasn't representing them in their statement either. So if they're not even consulting their members, Who the hell are they representing exactly? Okay, some
It's like saying I was in the Epstein list, but you know, I was just there for the golf. It's exactly like saying I might be on the list, but you know, I'm friends with many people, and maybe I was just playing mini golf on the island. Like, what are you talking about?
as I'm editing. Ubisoft has responded to stop killing games. I was not expecting that. It's
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of-
yeah. Ubisoft addresses stop killing games after overseeing the deaths of the crew and X-Defiant. Support for all games. Support for all games cannot last forever. We're gonna be talking about this as well.
Okay,
Oh, he's
this
gonna
is
talk about it.
irrelevant. We're aware of your terms. It's not yet determined if they're legal or not. This is also irrelevant. This part is true. This is a widespread problem in the industry.
It's kind of an issue not specific to Ubisoft. Yeah, but what's your point? It's gonna have to be in the future if this goes forward, right?
The only thing unique to Ubisoft is they're trying to get away with this crap as a French company. Okay, even the EU Commission wouldn't commit as to whether these types of
You provide a service, but nothing is written in stone, and some points of the service may be discontinued. The EU Commission has not currently defined these games as services. That's right. We don't have any legislation for this shit. This is the Wild West. One more reason for me to think that it's a good idea to discuss these laws and to discuss these licenses and to, you know, legislate a little bit about this, because they can do whatever they want.
So he can call these games services, but legally they might not be. Services tell you when they end.
Yes.
And the endless support argument. Okay, I'm undecided. If this was a senior developer saying this, I would 100% call this misdirection. I mean, hey, this looks awfully similar to that comment from Video Games Europe about endless support. This could be the industry's new playbook. If they can pretend to not understand what we're asking for over and over again, maybe they're hoping
God.
that will change the narrative. However, this is a CEO saying this, so maybe he really doesn't know how these games work.
Wasn't it the same guy that said that we will own nothing and we'll be happy about it? And
Oh, he wouldn't be the first CEO to not understand how his company's products work. So I can't tell if
oh
he's
no, not the submarine. Not the submarine, dude.
just trying to gaslight everyone,
Holy shit.
or if he just doesn't know how these games are made, so he thinks they would need endless support. I kind of hope he actually doesn't know.
Yeah, there's in the Ubisoft license, I believe it's the Ubisoft one, there's like a clause that says that if they discontinue a game, you are responsible for destroying your copy. Crazy shit. You're responsible for destroying your physical copy if you have one, or I suppose your digital one, if they discontinue a game.
Okay, to end this on a
Right.
lighter note, despite all this mess, we've been getting more and more support from European members of parliament. Here are some I've been informed of. Though
Some members of the European Parliament expressing support for the Stop Destroying Video Games initiative so far. Nicola from Romania.
Marketa Gregorova's was from last year, actually, and had cool promotional art and everything. That's what, 4-bit color? But the big one is
Nice.
Nikolai Stefanuta, a vice president of European Parliament, throwing his weight behind the initiative and saying he signed it himself.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Big dubs.
Okay, I'm the wrong person to judge social media effectiveness.
Let's go,
But
Nikolai.
85,000
go,
likes on
Nikolai.
Twitter would sound like a good day to me if I was a politician. This is what I mean about easy wins for politicians, guys. Keeping
Yeah.
it real, most people don't care about video games either way. So this is pretty safe politically. But for the people who do, Stop Killing Games is advocating for a very popular position that's in line with existing consumer protection laws and is narrowly focused. So this isn't going to cripple the industry either.
Yeah, I can imagine that some people will look at this and go like, this is easy, guys. We just need to legislate about this because it's the Wild West and we can do so easily. Everyone will love it, and the ones that don't care don't matter anyway, right? So it's an easy win, easy vote. Politically speaking, there's no downsides to supporting the initiative,
Fighting
despite
this
what the
because
industry
they'll fight
wants you to
anything
believe.
that requires them to do something. Stop Killing Games is about as safe and popular as it gets in politics. And as a bonus, it's appealing to people who might not normally be involved in politics.
I was about to say, if it has one thing that I've never seen in European politics, which is it has an appeal to a demographic that has been feeling pushed away from politics, and suddenly they see a cause about something they care about, and it's something to rally behind. So it's a win-win if the politicians support this thing. Now, the discussion is how exactly are we going to make this happen, but that's, this is just the beginning.
If you want to help,
Right.
just try your best with contacting a representative of your country. Preferably someone who cares about consumer rights. Okay, that's it. I have no idea what's coming down the pipeline now, but all this resistance means we are throwing around some real power to fix things. So let's keep at it.
Yeah, making anonymous complaints, trying to get the initiative disqualified on technicalities, and putting out these statements against the initiative really shows that they are worried. They are big worried about this. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think that their sphincters are contracting? You think they're making diamonds with their anus? All right. What a new Ross, please. This doesn't help the initiative, Ross. Oh, look at that face. Jesus Christ, man. Hello? Did you like the video? If you did, please leave a like. Subscribe. If you have the bell, press the bell. Otherwise, you don't get the juicy stuff next time. Is this how you do it? What do you mean, no? Oh, also, love your face. Bye. Bye. Click the things.